Alright, so Michael and Jalinda had this table they didn't want anymore, so we've got it. So now we do have a table for the dining room. But right now I have some dandelions that are drying. There's some more right here. Some lilac leaves that are drying. And an old hornet's nest. A wasp's nest. Little wasp's nest. So we're going to go down the hall here. And we can walk on down the hall. And here's this right here is called Royal Candle. It's really nice. And there's some blue sage. And it's just dangling there drying. I have my pine here. Along with a couple squirrel tails are hanging there. And of course I have what Michelle calls my display table. So I have that all sitting here. I do have the dojo taken down, but this back here is all my survival gear. So what, and also I have the wrestling mat still down. So ultimately, because this place is a mess right now, ultimately what I want to do is to roll this mat up, stick it, I'm just going to roll it up all the way up against the wall over here and just leave it rolled up there, strap it down and keep it rolled up there. All of this survival gear is going to go out into the patio storage area, and this room is going to be my display table room. So let's go out to the and walk on down the hall.
Walk on by.
And we come to a door.
Walk on by.
And right now I have some. Let me open that up. And what's in here is a smattering of my survival gear. Not very much. Is my traps basically, but all of my martial arts stuff that I had in the dojo. The home dojo is here. I don't really want to get rid of this wood, but I don't really have need for it anymore. But I want to take this martial art gear out of here, put my survival gear back in here. Now, mainly these 3 bags here are my martial art training gear that I use on if I use it on a regular basis. That's what I use. And we go back in. So I want to take that martial art gear. I'm just chatting about what I want to do. And we're going to move it over here to this closet. Now this closet used to have a bunch of survival gear that I was going to get rid of. Right now it just has the stuff that's in the back of the van, usually my martial art training gear, and that tote, which is my worm bin. But it used to have about 4 or 5 totes of survival gear, which I have gotten rid of. So that's the plan. So if you followed that, that bedroom used to be a dojo, but I don't spend enough time at home needing a dedicated dojo anymore. So the dojo stuff was taken down and placed in this patio storage shed. Now the patio shed used to have my survival gear in it, but I took the survival gear out, put it in the bedroom so that I could make room for the dojo stuff to go in here, and then that was going to be my survival room. I decided I'm not really interested in doing that either. So the dojo stuff is going in the closet in the dining room. The survival gear is going in the patio, and my display table and its paraphernalia will be in the back room again. I think my transition from warrior to sage is, although never going to be complete, I do find that I'm transitioning from a adrenaline junkied testosterone filled Psycho Warrior. I think I'm kind of eased off on that. Although training is still going to be important in my life, it's not like it used to be. Not like it used to be. And I think I've transitioned. Basically, really, I'm getting older, and I think I've transitioned from what I was to more of a papaw status. Although I'm still going to be a very active and dedicated person to my physical training, I think I'm transferring a little more into a less physical realm of training right now. So display table, that's what my wife calls it. I just love that. I don't she won't say altar. Her Christianity won't let it. So my display table, that room right there is going to be transition more into my apothecary and that sort of stuff. So we're going to hopefully get through all that. I've gotten rid of 4 more totes, which was in the dining room closet. I got rid of those yesterday, and that has allowed me to start switching things around like this. So we'll do that. Now I also am still working on that lead, so let's take a look at that. With the lead. So I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to start doing some more and see what we can't get done with that. And hopefully eventually I'll get all this lead either melted or find out it won't melt, and I'll just get rid of it, because I'm not interested in dealing with it if I can't use it for the purposes that I want to use it for. And this is a possibility of the lead that's going away. I've already tossed out the stuff that won't work that I've already tried. So let's get this on, let's get it going, let's start melting some more lead, and hopefully I can come up with a 3rd bar. So I've got this stuff separated by the markings on the lead, but doing some research, it doesn't really, the markings aren't whether or not it's lead or not, it's the purpose of what kind of tire it's used for. But I have MC up here. I've found that the stuff called micro and MC, marked micro and MC, so far micro has absolutely been lead, and almost every piece of MC was lead. I have some that are marked that aren't marked, and that's in here. I'm going to start trying some of that to get rid of it. The AL is aluminum. Then there's some marked with a P, a T, and those I'm not sure about, so we'll have to start doing those. And what do we got over here? Okay, we got FE, which is iron. Pretty sure those aren't gonna, those are steel like, those aren't gonna melt. And then I've got zinc over there. Zinc will melt, but I don't know if this one will bring it up to the temperature that needs to melt for zinc, because zinc needs to be higher than the lead. Not a whole lot higher, but a little bit. So what we're going to do is let this go. We're going to start melting the stuff that I've already got separated. I'm not gonna go through this bucket right here and put any more out until I go through all this stuff that's already down. This is the not marked stuff, so we're going to deal with the not marked stuff. And what doesn't melt is just honestly going to get thrown away. I ain't even dealing with it. I don't care about it. I have no use for it. So I'm going to go through as much of this as I can. Then we're going to start with the P. Then we're going to move to the T. I'll try the FE just because I won't feel right if I don't at least try it. But that should be iron. It shouldn't work. I'm going to leave the zinc over there to do all of the zinc last, so that so I will go back to this and start separating again into piles. And once I get it all separated and tried, we'll do the zinc last and see if that'll melt. Also, maybe today while I'm playing around with this lead, as a matter of fact, hold on, let me throw in a couple pieces here just while it's getting hot. I have 8.7 pounds of powdered clay that I dug up and extracted from dirt myself. So I've got plenty of clay to use for a couple projects I want to work on. But the powdered clay I am going to mix with other ingredients and make some alchemy clay out of it. I do want some clay to make some small bowls. Let's see here. Oh, I think I'm going to use a plastic container like this to use as a guide to make these little bowls out of clay. But I'm gonna make several of them that are not alchemy clay based, just plain clay, and I'm gonna make several of those. Let them dry. I'm gonna need to put them in a fire so that they will be hardened. But I think I'm gonna go dig out another batch of dirt and go through the process of getting clay and not powdering it and not allowing it to dry. I'm going to use the clay straight from the earth and make these little bowls that I'm wanting to make. And I'll probably do that, start doing that maybe today or tomorrow sometime. So that'll probably be a video all of its own. I know I've probably put up 5 or 6 videos of me doing this clay thing already, but I love it, and I just have this thing about sharing what I do. So there may be another video of lightly going through the digging and the processing of it. I don't need to do too much of that, maybe just little highlights of it. But it won't be from other videos. It'll be strictly from this process that I'm going to do today or tomorrow, whenever I do it. I'm not going to take snippets from other videos and throw them in there. I mean, it'll be completely new videos. But I will, once I get the clay, I will form it into these little bowls or dishes that I'm wanting to make, and that'll be part of the process. So hopefully that video comes up soon as well. Now, I do have someone that watches my YouTube channel that has requested me to do some videos on making a camp and doing outdoor survival stuff without a left arm. Boom, 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 bam, just like this, and do all of my survival stuff. I have not done that yet. I apologize. I have not been afforded the time to dedicate going out into the woods and doing such a thing right now. My daughter has asked that I take her out on a overnight, so maybe I can get that done and do the video that was requested at the same time, and basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we'll see if we can't get that done. Again, she's been very, very patient and polite about it, but I have not forgotten. I just haven't been able to get out and dedicate a complete day or an overnight of me going out and setting up a camp and doing all that. I just haven't done that, but I really do hope to be able to do that soon. So let me get to this lead, and we'll do all that. I'd like to get the dirt dug up today and put in the bucket. Also, I would like to get into the patio closet, get all my martial arts stuff out, get that cleaned out, find out what I really, really feel I have to keep, and get rid of everything else, and start transferring my survival gear. Maybe not tonight, maybe that has to wait, but start transferring my survival gear into there and my martial art gear into the dining room closet. So a lot of stuff's going on. A lot of activity I got to get done, but we'll do it a little bit at a time. So I'm in the process of melting, or attempting to melt, the ones that aren't labeled with anything. Now, some of them melt and are lead. Some are. Yes. Oh, good. Yes. This right here is going to be all lead. I just tried one piece and it melted, so that's great. We'll get those in there, let them melt up a little bit. What's that? That is not. Most of the stuff that's not labeled is not melting, but some of it is. These have got, there we go, I gotta get some of that, some kind of rubbery plastic coating of some sort. There we go. Is on some of that lead, and gotta get that off. I think that's visible. Yeah, you can see that. So I know these pieces here are, there we go, see how they're crumpling up? Yeah. So these are definitely lead. These will melt. This one here, nope, that's not lead. So again, most of this stuff that's not marked is not lead. Let that other stuff sitting there for a minute. I'm not 100% sure about that. So what I'm really curious about is this big hunk of stuff right here. Now I can bend it with my pliers. It bends a little bit. So it might be some sort of, maybe, I don't know. But this is big and heavy. And there's no markings on it that I can read. So I'm really interested in tossing this in and seeing if this is melt up. If this turns out to be lead, this would be a nice big chunk. And I can already see this one is melting. Yep, boom, boom. So look at that. So that one was lead as well. Very good. So we're almost got the unmarked stuff tested here. I don't think that one's not going to be lead. I don't think that one is either. A really small piece right there. So we'll give these a few moments to test out. Although I'm not skilled or proficient in any way, shape, or form with melting this stuff, I am starting to kind of be able to tell by feel in just a few seconds of it being in there whether or not it's lead or not. Again, I'm not becoming an expert in a matter of like 3 or 4 times that I've done this, but I am learning quickly what probably could be and what I'm pretty sure isn't. I'm not always right, but I'm getting better. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking these ones that are marked that I'm sure is lead, and especially when they're bigger like this, I just go ahead and get my pliers here and my pliers here, and I just bend them and break them. There you go. There, just break that like that to make them smaller. Bingo, bango. And that's definitely lead. That's lead. So that way I can break those down into smaller chunks. And I've only got one more piece that's unmarked, which is this big one, and it's thick. Even if it is lead, I'm not going to be able to break it like that. So it is denting. See, I did smack it and cut it, and it did cut. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. I'm going to save that one for later. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this bunch up here, which is MC. And so far, I haven't found any of that has not been lead. Alright, so especially with the bigger ones, I've been going through. See here? Yeah, this one says micro. And it's pretty big. This one will break. So I think about going through and just getting some of the big ones, even if marked or unmarked. And all I do is just lock them up here, and then I can just bend them and break them off at the ends. And then what I'm doing is I'm keeping the ends separate. There we go. And then I'm taking these parts that have the metal, and I'm going to go ahead and throwing those all in at the same time, so I can get all the metal pieces off of all of them at this pretty close to the same point. And then I'll save the actual lead sides like this, and I'll melt those all. Now these are marked MC here, and I've got a couple of these, but I'm not putting these in there because these are some sort of plastic, and they melt nasty and then they ruin my lead. So I figured that out. So some of the smaller ones I can't do that with. So I do have, batteries running dead, I do have a little pack full of the lead here. So we're going to get all that done, and then I'll start moving on to the stuff that has some other markings. So as an example, I'm not sure what that says. Got an EN on it. Anyway, this is just a random one that I don't know. So I'm just going to take these and see if I can't break them like I can the lead ones, which will give me a good opportunity to know whether or not it's, oh yeah, that broke easy. Alright, so that one's definitely lead. There we go. So in we go. Now let's see, here's one. There's a perfect opportunity. This one's marked P. Now we'll see if we can't do this one. Now the problem is these letterings don't have anything to do with what they're made of. It's got to do with the purpose that they were used for. So just because this one may be lead doesn't mean the next one will be, but we'll see. I just have a feeling, oh yeah, lead. But not, oh, hey, hold on. No, that was. Here's a couple other large ones that's marked P. I'll do these real quick here just to kind of get an idea. Yep. Lead. Fantastic. And let's check this one out. I think this one feels like it's lead too. Yep. Bingo bango. Fantastic. Alright, so here's one that's marked, well, there's a couple more. There's one that's marked T. This one's marked T. Let's try this one real quick and just see if this one, yep, lead. So fantastic. So the bigger ones I can test out. Again, just because those happen to be lead doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be lead. So the markings aren't really going to be a great indicator whether they're lead or not. They could be iron, they are steel, they could be some of them are made of plastic. There's some sort of weird plasticness, and those are nasty. Aluminum, zinc, all sorts of different kinds of things. So I'm just going to have to go through these and try them a little bit at a time and eventually get through it. So I've got a little process going on now. The bigger ones I'm bending, if I can bend them, they're definitely made of lead. They do have like a paint over top of them, so there is some skim and crap that doesn't not really belong there. So what I'm doing is I'm taking about 6 of these that I've already broken off, and it's just got that metal clip on them, and I'm tossing them in there. We'll do 4 of them right now. So we're going to let those sit, and we're going to let those melt, and when they get done melting, I'll get back with you and show you what we're doing when we continue. So now that those been in there for a few seconds, they're melted. So what I'm doing is making sure that I get as much off as I can. Sometimes I'm lucky and the paint or paper, whatever it is, sticks to the metal piece here. Sometimes when I tap it too hard, it goes in. But regardless, see there, that one went in. See, that's this paper or paint or something. So there's still a little skim there. We're going to go ahead and toss in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got 1 more, 6. So we're going to toss those 6 in. When those get done melting, we'll continue the process. It doesn't take long. I just set them in there, and you can see, yeah, they're all ready. And there we go. So let's tap, boom, tap that in there. Yeah, we'll let this sit in there. Boom, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Make sure, yeah. So what we do now is I'm going to take this little spoon and I'm just going to scrape the top just enough to skim all of that gook off, just like that. Form it in a little ball over here and pull it out just like this. Then we're going to dump it into this water, get it cool, and then I'm going to take it to this little tray here and just leave it there. There is some lead in this stuff, but it's just a bunch of nastiness. So let's get back to the water. There we go. So I'm going to take the lead that we have now and dump it, bam, just like that, into there. Alright, we have a little bit left here, so what I'm going to do is tap the side, and that'll sit down in there, and it'll begin to melt. We'll take this big old hunk out, just like this, and I'll sit it aside until we get ready to melt all of those. And it looks like there's some little chunks here. We'll throw these back in the So we'll dump this water out in here. And we have a little bit, little pieces of lead here. I'll dump those back into the burner after they dry out for a little bit. Let's try to get that water out of it. There we go. And here are these chunks after I get them in the water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 of them right now. Eventually what I'll do is I'll take those, melt those all down, and then we will put them in this little skillet here and make a mold for them. So that's the process, and we'll continue to do that until till we get enough to where I feel like I can get at least 1 skillet. I think I've got enough for 1 skillet, but I want to do a little bit more. I'm gonna do what I've got left in here, and then I think I'll stop for the day. But we'll go ahead and melt all this and at least get them into these little oddly shaped little things. These would be really cool to, you just look at them and see all kinds of pictures. There's a duck. So this, or a swan, maybe even a swan. Here's the body of it right here, and there's a wing right there, and there's its neck, and it goes right into, there's even an eye there, a little eye right there. So there's the eye, there's his neck, and there's his body. There's even a little tail right there. If I can, there's its body, its neck. Anyway. Alright, so I'm getting there. I'm not messing with the stuff that says AL, and I'm not going to mess with stuff that says ZN, because that may be aluminum and zinc. Again, the lettering tends to not have a direct relationship to the content of it, but regardless. So those two anyways, for now, I'm not messing with. I'll deal with those last. The P's and the T's have generally been lead. I have found a couple that weren't, but I've been taking the bigger ones and breaking them, and I have ran into a couple that were definitely not lead, and I just tossed them. All of the Fe, which is some sort of iron, I tried a handful of those and none of those were working, so I just dumped the whole batch. I'm not even going to screw around with anything that says Fe anymore. So let me show you. I've really deleted a small portion of what I'm working with. So here up top, I'm still melting the pieces that I have broken off, and I have 6 pieces that have the metal still attached, so I have to deal with those. A small amount that's MC, and so far just about all of those have turned out to be lead. Now that one's not one. There it is. Let me see if I can, here we go. Yeah, this one here. These here, these color, I found them in several different ones, P or a T or whatever. These are some sort of plastic. There may be some metal involved with it, but this is massively plastic, and when you try to melt these, they turn into a sticky goo of mess, and you can't separate it from the rest of the lead. So these I don't even mess with. These I toss out immediately. I do have this amount to deal with to melt at this present time to get it done. Here's all my sludge, and there is still a little bit of lead left in that, so I'll melt that all and try to get a little bit out. I haven't dealt with that big bad bastard yet. Here's all of my lead. This is the lead that's I've been dumping into that water and getting a decently pure amount of lead out of that. Skimming the top has kind of helped a lot, getting some of that. Now down here, as you can see, it's definitely not nearly as cluttered as it was. This is the zinc down here. or I should say ZN. I think that's zinc. I'm not messing with that at all. And the first batch is aluminum. I'm not messing with it at all. The P's and the T's have generally turned out to be lead, but not always. And then I still have this whole bucket here to go through and separate. So I will just finish up with this lead that I have right here. I will make one. I have plenty enough to make one more cast, and that will make my third cast. I'll do that, and then I will clean up and finish up with the lead for today, because I do have other projects I do want to do. As a matter of fact, my water bucket that I'm using as a water bucket that I'm going to use to cool this down with needs to be full of dirt. I need to get that full of dirt, and I'd like to do that tonight.
What?
Yep. Okay, so I have everything that I'm going to deal with today melted. Now I'm going to make my mold. I ended up with 12 pieces like this, and I am going to melt 11 of those down. This one here, the smallest one, I am going to save. So I'm going to put this over here, because I have a project that I want to do that involves this lead, but I'm not going to do it during this video. It's going to be a video all of its own. Just can't wait for that. I just can't wait for that. So you're going to have to catch the surprise use of this small piece of lead in another video. Now, I have to melt down like 11 of these and make another mold out of here, and that's going to take me another hour or more. I do have all of this junk, and I was going to remelt it to try to get the little bit of lead out that is in there, but I'm not messing with it. Here is a bunch of lead that, I should say, here's a bunch that is not lead. I'm just going to put it in there, and this is all going to go to the trash. I don't have purpose for it, and I'm not messing with it. I'm not saving it for other people to have later. I'm not just trying to avoid all of the clutter and the mess, and I just don't want to do it. So let's melt down those 11. Let's get those down, make one more full mold as best I can, which will make the third one. And I do have some hot dogs and tea sitting in there. So while I'm melting this lead, I'm going to finish up my lunch slash maybe dinner, and we'll get to the other video if I can tonight. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that tonight. I still want to get my shovel and go out and get dirt, but I can't do that until I get all this lead done. So I'll get right back with you. Alright, so I'm in the process of melting a bunch of this lead to put into the mold. I'm thinking maybe one more. Let's take the small one here and put this one in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of moisture still in some of these, and they have a tendency to bubble up a little bit. So I think when that's melted, I should have enough to put in here. I may have to do a little bit more, but we get all this taken care of. Also, I don't really know if that gets hot enough to melt aluminum, but I cut up some pieces of my tea can, my I don't know, what is this, Peace Tea I think it is. Anyway, it's an aluminum can. I cut up some pieces. I'm curious whether that gets hot enough to melt aluminum. If it does, yay for me. If it doesn't, well, you know, it still melts lead. So there we are, trying to get this lead melted. It's getting there. take a little bit of time. I'll give it some time to heat up thoroughly, and then we'll come back, put it in the mold, and we'll see what we got. So let's real quick get this pour in there, and we still got 1, 2, 3, 4. We still got 5 pieces to still pour, and they're all about this size. So that's going to end today. It's already almost 6 o'clock, so it's definitely gonna keep my day as far as continuing with other stuff. That's really freaking heavy. Alright, so let's get this poured, and might be able to get to that tonight as well, but I don't think I'm gonna do anything else. Here we go. Fantastic. Hey, that's a nice pour, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to stop with that. I'm not going to fill that up anymore. So what I'm going to do is take it and toss it into this water. Bam. There we go. That's the best pour I've ever done. Of course, that's the first one I've ever done in a single. Oh yeah, that's really nice. I like that one. Yeah, that's nice. That's better than any of the others I've ever poured. The rest of them been all jaggedy and all crackety. This one's nice. I like this one. So, I might re-pour the other two just for shits and giggles eventually, but I'm not going to today. So, very nice pour. I'm going to go ahead and do this at least once more. I'm going to get at least these melted down to get one more of these, and I don't know if I'll video that. There's no reason to. I was hoping to make that video of my next project tonight, and I might do that instead of using that little small bit of lead that I've got, because I still need to probably be easier just to dip out of this big one. So I don't know, I may do that tonight, may do that video tonight, I may not. We'll see. I have no idea. Regardless, you guys won't see it for another 2 days anyway, so. Alright, so I'm working on melting this lead, and I got this much of it to do. I got at least one more good mold out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, 5. There's 5 pieces of it. And I think I'm going to take that small piece and just go ahead and dump in here. And I think tonight, when I'm finished, once I get this, before I mold it, I'm going to take what I need and make that second project and film it. So, yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and do that. So regardless of whether I end up doing that, which I think I'm going to, doesn't really matter, because this video won't be seen for at least another month, and then the video that I'm about to make, whether I make it tonight or another night, doesn't really matter, because you won't see it for another 2 days anyway. So we're going to go ahead and end this. Thank you guys for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors, even if it's just your own backyard.